Hey, it's Griff and Sarah, and we're at St. Patrick's Cemetery.
In Cambridge, New York.
Is that where we are?
Where we are.
All right, guys, we're going to be, we're dogging down a murder. Well, a suspected murder. Actually, it's a mystery.
Murder mystery.
Murder mystery. And it took place in 1889. I think it was on October 19th that it might have happened, but the body was discovered on October 20th in 1889 in Middle Falls, New York, which used to also be known as Galesville. I'm not sure. I think it was Middle Falls by that point, though. And I believe that it probably was murder, and there was a bit of a botch job on the first autopsy. So we're gonna go visit her grave. Her name is Maggie Horrigan.
A good Irish girl.
Well, she actually was from Ireland, actually,
Yeah.
and she was working at the Reynolds house, Mrs. Reynolds.
She ran a boarding house, right?
I don't know if it was a boarding house or not, but it was just her and her son Herbert. I'm going to get back to him later. So we're going to go off and visit the grave, and we're going to visit a few other sites and where the body was found, and all the other locations.
It's a cold case.
Oh, it is. Now we found her.
Maggie, good gravy. Where have you been, girl?
Oh my God, it took forever to find this stone.
Woof.
Anyways,
I had to drive back to service.
Right. Taken to service.
To find it.
And there it is. It's got a cross on the top. There's the two pine trees behind it that are joined, and it seems to be slipping off of its base right now. But she was, the funeral mass happened at St. Joseph's, and
St.
she
Patrick.
was brought here. Yeah, St. Joseph's in Greenwich, and she was
St.
brought
Joseph.
here in Cambridge at St. Patrick's Cemetery. Okay, so this is what happened. There's Irish girl, Maggie. She worked, I think, as a domestic at the Reynolds house, where Mrs. Reynolds and her son Herbert lived. And she left on the 19th, Friday, the 19th of October, 1889, at 7 o'clock to drop off some mail and meet up with some friends of hers. So it was
She was meeting up with the postmistress.
Well, her and her friends used to hang out with the postmistress who played piano or something like that, and they enjoyed hanging out with her. And she wasn't known to travel alone, but nobody saw her. Well, they saw her up on the road walking slowly, but not with her friends. And then she was also spotted on the bridge walking slowly, where a carriage, I forgot the guy's name, but he was kind of coming up behind her, saw her, and then he made a left. We're going to kind of show you where that whole area is. And then what had happened the next day was some kids found a hat and like her bag or something, and alerted a road crew. And then a road crew found her body in a creek, a brook. Well, it was actually an enlargement on the brook off of the, I think it was the Sherman farm. So we're going to show you the location where I believe that she was found, which was about a mile from the bridge. So let's go check it out. Here's St. Joseph's Church. This is in Greenwich, and it's the place where she had her funeral mass just before they brought her to Cambridge, New York at St. Patrick's.
And the next one will be St. Middle Falls.
All right, so
There we are.
we're coming up on the bridge. Let's get way up there.
Well, this used to be a covered bridge, way back.
This time it would have been a stone bridge, and it's in the same place for the most part. And all the characters, like Mrs. Reynolds, the doctor, all of this happened right around here. We don't know where the houses are exactly. I tried to find them.
The post office is right up here.
Yeah, the post office would be up here. So, two strange men were also on the bridge, but nothing ever came of that, because that was just a story one of the witnesses said, and they weren't able to confirm it. But we're coming up in the area where a lot of these people would have lived, who worked at the mill.
Yeah.
So right up here we have the post office. And it's a little house up there. There it is. All right, so the last place that Margaret was seen, or Maggie was seen, was on the bridge, walking slowly alone. That several people had said that. And she was found the next day about 10 o'clock by the road crew. Now, the road crew guy said it was about 4 or 5 rods from the road. So there's the road, and a rod's a variable thing. So down here is a sort of an extra area of water off of the brook. It's still, it's not moving around at all. And that's where they found her. If you can see down here, there's the water, just like was described in the newspaper in 1889. The problem is the road crew guy left her alone. He just left her once he pulled her in a little bit. But another guy came along, flipped her over, and then carted her off to the morgue. And that's when the autopsy and all the other stuff went awry. The first autopsy, that is. Okay, so the first autopsy was done by the coroner here in Greenwich, who was not a practicing doctor, and he ruled it a suicide and a drowning. Wow. Nobody bought into the suicide thing that knew Maggie, and they ordered a second autopsy, and they got a Pinkerton guy to investigate it. A.V. Price was his name, from the Pinkerton Detective Agency. They performed another autopsy, found that there was no water in her lungs or in her throat, and that asphyxiation probably happened before she was actually put in the water. Another description of when they found her is that their hair was floating all over the place, and loose, as they said, and her hands were clasped in front of her, and the rest of her body was perfectly straight and stiff.
And unsullied.
And unsullied. That was the other thing that they checked into. But when I read the article that was the hearing, they had gathered up all the single men in town, basically, and asked them if they knew her, how they knew her, were they interested in her, and all of that. So they never came to any conclusions. But they never asked Herbert anything either. So that's why I keep bringing Herbert up. He lived with her.